To my American friends and also friends who don't understand Hindi, through this video, well, thanks for your patience for sitting through the first 30-35 seconds. But through this video, I want to share with you a kind of protest currently happening in India, wherein discrimination while this pandemic is happening is being opposed. So Bahujan Kranti Morcha is an agitation wing which takes up causes of agitation against government or against policies by government that adversely affect the oppressed castes, SCs, STs, also some OBCs, and also religious minorities, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians. So, as part of this pandemic, we have been seeing selective planning by the government where privileges are being passed along to dominant castes. Oppressed castes, SC, ST areas are being cordoned off. They're being mistreated, treating very inhumanely. And also we have the huge issue, humanitarian issue of migrant laborers. While this is not new, because I did a video like this about 3 weeks ago or so, stating the case of the migrant workers, what we are seeing is no rectification by the government to fix this problem. So there are about 10 points that are made under the black armband protest thing, which is in Hindi, which makes sense for the Indians to go through. But for my non-Indian audience, I just want to share that the problem of discrimination is still happening while we are going through this pandemic. I'll give you a couple of examples which are also highlighted in those 10 bullet points of this protest. One of the things is there were buses arranged to pick up privileged caste kids who were in a different state going through some course or studying there, and they were brought back home to their home state and to their families. However, the government is not doing any such thing to alleviate the pressure being felt by the migrant laborers who are stuck in these big cities where they don't have a livelihood now, nor do they have shelter or food or any supplies. So when the government is taking the pains of accommodating privileged caste families and kids, they're doing nothing. They're not helping these migrant laborers to get to their homes and infringing upon their constitutional rights. So that's a very, very recent example. A few other things this protest using this black armband is highlighting is the mob lynching. India is very communal, and they're even giving this coronavirus a religious and communal coding. So there have been some lynchings of some ST tribal people, and the mob basically assumes that these people are carriers. There is no scientific sense within them, so they take upon this. Similarly, religious minorities, a lot of Muslims are being targeted as carriers of corona. There is no test being done, nothing positive, nothing scientific. It's just communal violence being instigated. And again, when I say instigated, it reminds me that there are these anchors, news anchors, who are on these prominent news agencies, and they are using their anchoring pulpit to actually incite communal violence, propagate more unscientific thoughts. And so the protest is also to highlight the government's inability to curb such instigators, because people look up to these news reporters and stuff. So that is something that's happening. Finally, the protest is also for the promises that Indian government, especially PM Modi, is making on TV and on social media, but those promises are not actually being fulfilled. No help, no support, no funding, no test kits are actually trickling down to the local communities where health workers, civil servants, etc. are waiting to use those supplies to serve the people. So again, those are just a few points I wanted to highlight as to how caste discrimination, communal issues still come up in India even when there is a huge pandemic like this. And at the outset, it appears as if the pandemic doesn't care about caste, class, religion, gender, or anything. While that is true, the virus does not discriminate. The community within which you live does discriminate, and how you fare through this pandemic depends a whole deal on what social strata you fall in, as evident in India. Finally, for those of you who are in America and elsewhere and wanted to somehow support the cause, but want to make sure that your support goes through the right channels and reaches the most oppressed people, your best bet is to search for organizations within your country or area that are Ambedkar organizations. Those organizations are well connected with the people on the ground and can ensure that any support that you provide here, funds or cash or kind or however it may be, do actually go to the people who are most in need back in India. Again, I appreciate all of you listening to me sharing what's going on and what this black armband protest is back in India. I do want to conclude this by again talking to my Bahujan Kranti Morcha friends. So, बहुजन क्रांति मोर्चा साथियों, मैं आपके साथ हूं और इस आंदोलन का मैं पूरा समर्थन कर रहा हूं यहां अमेरिका लॉस एंजलिस से। जय मूल निवासी, जय भारत।